Hi, welcome back. In our previous classes, we have introduced ourselves to duplicates. We have looked at the definition of duplicates, why do we have duplicates in our dataset, what are the potential harm of duplicates in our data, and also we have talked of how can we handle these duplicates and so on. Now we are handling duplicates in Excel data. So for example, here I have a data called membership, where the membership for a professional body is. Let me copy this. See, go to where I have COUNTIF duplicates and paste inside here. So now this table will be having columns like member ID, first name, last name, and so on. And where you don't expect to have repetition, assuming that this is a lookup table, is where we have member ID. Of course, we have talked of the difference between data and fact table, lookup and dimensional tables. And assuming this is now a lookup table, we don't expect any repetition in member ID. Again, we have said we can consider data to be duplicate if values in all the columns are the same. For example, if this value appears here, the same appears here, the same appears here, this value can be considered as duplicate. That is what happened in most of the cases. Again, we have said if value appears in part of the columns, for example, this value is the same as this other value only in this column, then we can consider this data as duplicate at a time. Again, we have talked about the value being different that describes a specific entity, single specific entity, case or observation or a person, then that value can still be considered duplicate. To just simplify and go by the common way, that we are going to treat values to be duplicate if the values in each of the column in the dataset are the same. So in that case, I'm not going to treat any value to be duplicate by looking at any of the column. So even if the value in the member ID is the same and the first name are different, of course it doesn't make sense. I'll be saying this value is not duplicate. So I'll be saying the value is duplicate only if it repeats for all of the column in the dataset. To get that, I'm going to use, first of all, to combine all of the values in each of the cells in each column. So I'll be coming up with here something like concat. All right. So I want to be concatenating values inside here. I say equals using the function concat, right? It's there. So it is asking for the first text. This is my first text, comma, this one, comma, this one, comma, this, comma, address 2, comma, here, comma, 4, comma, 5, comma, dues, comma, membership, comma, professional members, comma, right, and then we have certification and say enter. So we have those values being combined in one column. Now I want to be using COUNTIF, and inside here I'll be saying equals COUNTIF tab this value in the range of this, right? This will be my range. From shift down arrow. Okay, let's say that is the range. Comma and the criteria that I want to be using is the value in there. I say enter. Alright, somewhere here you can see 2, which means that this value appears in the range only once, this and so on. Here this value appears in the range 2 times, so there is again some 2 here, and so on. Of course we are not considering anything below here because there is no data, so those are just some mistakes that are there. So this means that I have some duplicates. So by where I have 2, I can scroll it and check. So for example, my 2 there at 18, so this value is repeated, placed one more time. So that is how we use COUNTIF to check if there is duplicate. So we already find that there is a duplicate in our data set. We can now think of how can we visually check or how can we visually see that there is duplicate. So in our next class we are going to use conditional formatting to format the duplicates values in our data set. Enjoy learning.